Imagine you're standing on the bridge of a large ship. The room is quiet, with a gentle hum from the electronic equipment all around you. Through the large windows, you can see the wide ocean stretching out to the horizon. This room is the ship's command center, the brain of the vessel. From here, the captain and the deck officers navigate the ship safely from one port to another. Your job as a member of the bridge team is very important. You are the eyes and the ears of the ship, helping to keep a safe watch. A good watchkeeper is always calm, alert, and focused on the safety of the vessel, its crew, and its cargo. Your primary duty on the bridge is to maintain a proper lookout. This means you must constantly watch the sea around the ship. You look for other vessels, buoys, land, and any changes in the weather, and listen for sounds such as foghorns. The bridge is designed to give you the best possible view, but you must use all your senses. The instruments we will discuss are powerful tools, but they are there to help you, not to replace your own careful observation. A calm and steady approach is the key to good watchkeeping on the bridge. The atmosphere on the bridge should always be professional and orderly. Every piece of equipment has a specific purpose, and you will learn what each one does. These instruments provide information about position, movement, and the environment. It helps you build a complete picture of the situation at any given moment. Remember, technology is a support system. Your clear thinking and attention matter most. In this guide, we will walk through the main pieces of equipment on a modern ship's bridge. The radar is one of the most important instruments on the bridge for collision avoidance. The word radar stands for radio detection and ranging. It sends out a radio wave. When it hits an object, it returns as an echo. Distance comes from time of return, direction from antenna bearing. Radar shows a map of surrounding objects even in darkness, fog, or heavy rain. Your ship is at the center. Targets appear as bright blips with range rings to gauge distance. You can zoom to manage near and far traffic effectively. Modern radars track targets, predicting CPA and TCPA with alarms for unsafe approaches. If a target will pass half a mile in 15 minutes, assess risk and take action. After a safe course change, confirm the new CPA is larger and the risk removed. The Automatic Identification System, or AIS, is another vital tool for keeping watch. While radar shows something is there, AIS tells you what it is. Ships broadcast identity and movement via VHF. Your display receives and shows them. You can see name, MMSI, call sign, position, course, speed, type, and status. Click a symbol to know exactly who it is and what it is doing. In traffic, AIS removes guesswork and speeds communication. You can call a vessel by name, MV Evergreen, MV Evergreen. This is MV Seafarer. We are on a crossing course. I intend to alter to starboard to pass astern of you. Over. The Electronic Chart Display and Information System, or ECDIS, is your primary tool for navigation. It has largely replaced traditional paper charts. It shows your ship on an official electronic chart with GPS accuracy in real time. ECDIS is a complete navigation and planning tool. Before sailing, the second officer plans the route using waypoints. The system monitors progress to keep you on the safe, efficient path. It checks for shallow water, hazards, or restricted areas and alarms as needed. If approaching safety contour appears, verify position and depth immediately. Inform the officer on watch. Steer for deeper, safer water to prevent grounding. Respond promptly to alarms and confirm the hazard is avoided. The echo sounder is a simple but critical piece of safety equipment. A transducer on the hull sends a sound pulse straight down. The echo returns. The very short round-trip time gives depth. The key value is depth under the keel, your clearance to seabed. The trace history shows if the seabed is rising or falling ahead. A rising trace warns of shallower water, vital near coasts and ports. Before anchoring, seek a suitable depth and relatively flat seabed. Maintain safe under-keel clearance, say at least 2 meters. If UKC drops to 2.0 meters, proceed with extreme caution or stop. The echo sounder provides constant real-time confirmation of depth. The speed log is the ship's speedometer, showing speed through the water. Like a car on the road, ships need precise speed information. Speed through water is measured by electromagnetic or Doppler logs. Speed over the ground comes from GPS. The difference reveals current set and drift. In docking, precise speed management is essential. The captain may aim for just 0.5 knots over the ground. STW helps judge handling in current. SOG ensures actual approach speed. Adjust engine power and thrusters to maintain control. Make a safe and gentle landing against the pier. The Voyage Data Recorder, or VDR, is the black box of the ship. It continuously records key data from sensors and is tamper-proof. The capsule is built to survive major incidents and be recovered. Data can be analyzed to understand exactly what happened. It records position, course, speed, radar image, echo sounder, rudder, engine commands, and bridge audio. After an incident, investigators replay the data to reconstruct events. They can hear conversations and see the exact control, inputs, and displays. Evidence may show good watchkeeping on one ship and lapses on the other. This helps determine cause and prevent future incidents. The VDR is critical for learning and accountability. The Global Maritime Distress and Safety System, or GMDSS, combines procedures and technologies for safety. It ensures ships in grave danger can alert and get help anywhere in the world. EPIRB floats free, transmits identity and position to satellites for rescue coordination. SARTs help rescuers find survivors on radar. Pressing the protected distress button sends your identity, position, and distress nature automatically. One action sends alerts via terrestrial radio and satellites. Digital alerts bypass language barriers and trigger fast response. While the crew prepares, GMDSS has already called for help with your location. That lifeline can make all the difference. Train, certify, and know your distress procedures. The Very High Frequency, or VHF radio, is the most common voice tool at sea. VHF works line of sight, typically 20 to 30 nautical miles. Channels are internationally assigned. Channel 16 is distress, safety, and calling. Keep a listening watch, make initial contact, then shift to a working channel. Use clear, simple language and standard phrases. Identify the ship with AIS, then pick up the VHF. MV Explorer, MV Explorer, MV Explorer. This is MV Seafarer. Suggest a working channel and say, over. We are on a collision course. I intend to alter to starboard for a port-to-port passing. Over. Clear communication ensures shared understanding. Beyond VHF range, ships use medium and high-frequency radio and satellites. MFHF bounces signals off the ionosphere to travel thousands of miles. Voice and DSC work over MFHF. Quality varies with time of day and solar activity. Officers receive maritime safety information on schedules for voyage planning. Stay aware of broadcast times for your ocean area. Inmarsat uses geostationary satellites and a small tracking dome on board. It provides clear telephone calls, email, and internet, and carries GMDSS alerts. For a medical emergency far offshore, call the Rescue Coordination Center directly. Doctors advise immediately. Authorities coordinate evacuation or assistance. That long-range reach can be life-saving. We have now toured the main instruments on a modern ship's bridge. From radar to satellite communications, each tool has an important role. They work together to give you a complete picture. Remember, your role is not just to watch screens. Maintain a calm, professional, and orderly bridge at all times. Check position on ECDIS and confirm it matches the voyage plan. Check course and speed. Note speed through water and speed over ground. Scan radar and AIS. Note traffic that may pose a risk. Confirm sufficient depth under the keel. Visually scan the horizon, check wind, visibility, sea state, and know all distress buttons and safety gear. Your diligence keeps the seas safe for everyone.